Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today we're going to be doing a Gold Pride Punk deck profile. So I'm really excited to introduce you guys because this deck is an amazing deck with just how well Gold Pride and Punk work together. It's super fun to be able to play because this deck can make some absolutely incredible boards, and I've included some extremely spicy tech cards in this build for you guys. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come part of our notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Punk Z-Amen. This card is a definite 3 of in the deck, and this is actually the starter for the build. This card has the ability to pay 600 life points to add a Punk monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is an amazing effect to get to the exact Punk card that you need. For example, your copy of Foxy-Tune. This card is such a powerful card to be able to play in the deck, and you always want to play 3 copies of this card in the deck. We then play a single copy of Wagon. Wagon is really good as a 1-of because this card actually searches Punk spells by paying 600 life points, and the card you're always searching off this card is our Punk field spell. We then play a single copy of Madam Spider. This card actually searches Punk trap cards, which is why we're playing this card as a 1-of because Dangerous Kaboo is an amazing card that this card can actually search. We then play a single copy of Shirakusai. Shirakusai is a walking polymerization. It helps you go in for your copy of Rising Carp, which is a really awesome fusion monster to be able to go into using this card. It's really awesome to be able to use this card in the combo. We then play 3 copies of Foxy-Tune. Foxy-Tune is incredible as a 3-of in the deck, and yes, we pulled out the collector's rares for this profile. This card is amazing in the deck. It has the ability that once per turn, when this card destroys an opponent's monster at battle, you gain life points equal to that monster's original attack, and you only use the following effects this card once per turn: that you contribute a Punk monster and then special summon this card from your hand, which does come up every so often to get you a level 8 monster on your side of the field. But its really good effect is that you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard and then send a card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a Punk monster from your deck except a level 8 monster, which is really good to be able to get your copy of Deer Note on your side of the field if you already have a level 3 tuner, because it helps you step into your copy of Jam Dragon Drive, which is an amazing synchro monster. We then play a single copy of Ogre Dance. This card is also a great searcher for the deck because it has the ability you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to add a Punk monster from your deck to your hand except a level 8 monster. I have bumped this card down to 1 in the build because with all the different Gold Pride cards you needed the room, and also Droll and Lockbird is running around everywhere, which is why I feel like 1 copy is totally fine in the deck. We then play a single copy of Deer Note. Deer Note is amazing as a 1-of in the deck, but this card is a little bit of a brick in your hand, which is why you just want to play a single copy in the deck to be able to summon off your copy of Foxy-Tune when you have your copy of Z-Amen on your side of the field. This card is really good because you can reveal a Punk monster in your hand and then special summon either the revealed monster or this card and send the other to the graveyard. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, then you can target a Punk monster in your grave except a level 5 monster and special summon it, but you cannot special summon this card for the rest of the turn. This card is really good in the deck to be able to bring back a monster to your side of the field, and it's a really awesome card to be able to synchro summon into Jam Dragon Drive using a level 3 tuner. Going into the Gold Pride cards, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Leon. I'm really liking 3 copies of Leon in playtesting, and all of your Gold Pride monsters actually share a common effect, that if your life points are lower than your opponent's, then you can special summon them from your hand, which is super cool to just instantly swarm the board with all sorts of different Gold Pride monsters. But this card has the ability, if it's normal or special summon, then you can target 1 non-warrior Gold Pride monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. Also, you cannot special monsters from the extract for the rest of the turn except Gold Pride monsters. And during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, immediately as the effect resolves, you actually get to synchro summon using Gold Pride monsters that you control, which is super cool to be able to synchro summon using this card. We then play 2 copies of Captain Carey. Captain Carey is just a good 2-of in the deck. I only feel like you need 2 copies of this card in the build, and it really does feel great to be able to play 2 copies of this card in the build, because it has a great effect that if this card is normally special summon, you can add a Gold Pride Trap from your deck to your hand, but since we're only playing 1 Gold Pride Trap, which is going to be Start Your Engines, I feel like 1 or 2 copies of this card is totally fine. It's really good as a 2-of in the deck though. We then play a single copy of Roller Baller, which we are, in fact, ballin'. This card is amazing in the deck because it has the ability that if your life points are lower than your opponent, you can special summon this card to your side of the field. And this card is a during the main phase quick effect, quick fusion summon into a Gold Pride monster, which is amazing in that it's a quick play, which is just amazing to go into your copy of Pinballer, which Pinballer is just such a good card to be able to make. It actually reminds me of Katamari, which is just super cool. We then play a single copy of Nitro Head. Nitro Head basically says no to Kashtira, which is why we play this card as a 1-of. And it's super good in the deck because during your opponent's standby phase, you can special summon a Nitro token that's a Pyro Fire level 8, 0 attack and 0 defense to your opponent's field, but it cannot be used as link material, which is a big effect that they can't link it away. But it's really insane because during your opponent's main phase quick effect, you can target a Nitro token on the field and destroy that token, and also destroy all cards in the adjacent monster zones and spells and trap zones, which is really insane. We then play a single copy of Psychic Wielder. Psychic Wielder is a really spicy tech card in deck because it is an extender that you can just special summon to your side of the field to control level 3 monster, and it is a tuner, which helps you out a lot in the deck. We then play a single copy of Psychic Tracker. Psychic Tracker is also just a really good extender in the deck because sometimes you do need the tuner and sometimes you don't need the tuner. So these are just really good 1-ups in the deck that you can play as extenders just to go in for more plays. They're really good in the deck to help you go for your copy of your Chariot Carry or other cards that you might need because they're just really good in the deck. I really have been enjoying these cards in playtesting because they help you out a lot to go in for a bunch of different plays, and they help you out a lot with your copy of your Jam Dragon Drive because that Jam Dragon Drive has the ability that if it's special summon, then you have the ability to pay 600 life points, and then you take a level 3 Psychic monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the grave, so you can even search these cards, which is super good. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the hand traps. So for the hand traps, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Ash Blossom. This card is just great to stop your opponent from touching the deck. It's absolutely insane, this format, and a definite 3-of. We then play 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Lockbird is really good in the deck to just stop your opponent from searching. It's really big right now, and it's super helpful in the deck. We then play 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. This card is great at popping cards on the field. Also, it's a psychic monster, so you can even bring it out to your side of the field off of emergency teleport, which is really big. We then play 3 copies of Gamma. Gamma is amazing as a 3-of in the deck. This card is super good at just stopping your opponent in their tracks to be able to stop monster effects, and it's great in the deck. And then finally, we play a single copy of Driver to go with that copy of Gamma. It's just really good to be able to go into these cards because you can even use them to synchro summon into level 10 or level 8s, which is amazing, and even climb into level 10s by making it the Stardust Dragon, which is amazing. The Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon with the copy of your Gamma and Driver, which is super good because then you can bring back your copy of Gamma from the graveyard, which is just amazing to bring that copy of Gamma back from the graveyard and make Baron de Fleur, which is just super powerful. So that's it for the hand traps, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of That Came Out of Nowhere. This card is super good as a 1-of. You only need a single copy of this card, and I really like this card to combo with their copy of Nitro Head because it has the ability to special summon a Gold Pride monster from your hand or graveyard. Then your opponent can special summon a monster from their hand or graveyard to their field, but its effects are negated, and you only activate one of this card per turn. It's a really good effect to just instantly get a Gold Pride card that you want on your side of the field, but then you can put the copy of the Nitro Head token beside it and pop the card that they summon later, which is not that big of a deal that they get the card on the field. But this card is a definite 1-of in the deck. We then play a single copy of P.U.N.K Jam Extreme Session. This card is basically a draw 2, which is why we play this card as a 1-of in the deck. It is searchable off of Wagon, and it has a great effect that once per turn you can manage a P.U.N.K card from your graveyard to special summon a P.U.N.K card from your hand. And if a psychic monster you control pay life points to activate its effects, then you can draw 1 card and you can activate the effect twice per turn, essentially making this card a Pot of Greed. We then play 3 copies of Emergency Teleport. Emergency Teleport is insane for this deck, and it's super good just to instantly get a copy of Xiamen onto your side of the field off this card's effect. We then play 3 copies of Better Luck Next Time. Better Luck Next Time is basically the tanky of the deck for your Gold Pride monsters, because when this card is activated, you can add a Gold Pride monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, you lose life points equal to its attack, which is not that big of a deal because it basically says reduce your life points and then special summon the monster, because you need your life points to be lower than your opponents to be able to special summon your Gold Pride monster, so that can actually be super helpful to lose those life points. And if a face-up Gold Pride monster you control that was special summoned from the extra deck returns back to the extra deck, which all of them do, you get to draw a card, and you can only activate this card once per turn, and you can only activate 1 of this card per turn, which is super good to be able to use with this card. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. For the traps, we're going to be playing a single copy of Dangerous Gaboo. This card is amazing to search off of your copy of Madam Spider, and let your target effect monster opponent controls and negate its effects, and if you control a P.U.N.K monster, you gain life points equal to targeting monster's original attack, which can be super helpful if your life points get low. We then play a single copy of Start Your Engine. Start Your Engine is searchable off of Captain Carry, which is why we play this card just as a 1-of, and if your opponent normally or special summons a monster, target 1 of those monsters, reveal 3 Gold Pride monsters from your deck, your opponent randomly picks 1, and then you special summon it and shuffle the rest back in the deck, then you destroy the targeted monster, so it's a pop and a search, which is amazing about this card. I love that about this card, that it instantly gets you a Gold Pride monster on your side of the field, and it also has that pop effect, which is just amazing. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with a single copy of Pinballer. Pinballer is amazing because this card really does make me think of Katamari. It's super cool in the deck because it's great to be able to put on your side of the field. It does take Rollerballer to be able to make this card, plus 1 Gold Pride monster. And if this card is fusion summoned, you can equip face-up monsters your opponent controls up to the number of fusion materials that you used for this card, which usually you're just going to use 2 monsters to make this card. And basically this card rolls across your opponent's side of the field and just equips those monsters like a Katamari ball, which is just really funny. I love that about this card. And it also has a awesome effect that also, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, the effects activated and effect cannot be negated, making this card a speed spell for Katamari ball. That's super funny and really cool. And it also has the ability once per turn during the end phase, if the previous effect was activated this turn, return this card back to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon a Gold Pride Rollerballer, which is amazing to be able to summon out that card from your deck or graveyard. And all of your Gold Pride monsters have that shared ability that they tag themselves out from the side of your field and put back the driver back onto the field if they activate their effect, which is just super cool. It's kind of like activating your super in a video game. We then play a single copy of Rising Carp. Rising Carp is great in the deck as a 1-of, as this card lets you tribute this fusion summon card and then special summon it to 2 P.U.N.K monsters with different names from each other from your hand or deck to your side of the field, except level 8 monsters, which is just really good to get those cards on your side of the field and help you synchro summon into some really powerful cards. This card is amazing to combo in the deck. So if you have your copy of Xiamen on your side of the field, it's very easy to be able to search out your copy of your Deer Note, or not Deer Note, your Foxy Tomb, and then use Foxy Tomb's ability to send a card from your hand to the graveyard, summon Shirakusai, fuse Shirakusai and your copy of Xiamen on your side of the field to make this card, and then you tribute this card to summon out a copy of another card to your side of the field, like your copy of your Wagon and a copy of your Deer Note, and then use Wagon to search field spell, and then you just basically make a copy of your Jam Dragon Drive while you have your field spell in the field, which is going to get you a draw 2, which is amazing. This card is so good in the deck for combo, and it's just really, really good. We then play a single copy of Amazing Dragon. This card is a walking monster reborn, and it also bounces cards off the field, which is just really insane. You can bounce upwards of like 4 cards, which is just really cool, because if this card is Synchro Summon, you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of level 3 psychic monsters with different names that you control and in your graveyard, and return them back to the hand. So you can bounce basically in whole field, which is just really cool. And you can also target a P.U.N.K monster in your graveyard and special summon to your side of the field, but you can only use 1 effect this card per turn and only 1 stat turn, so you get to pick either or on that effect. We then play a single copy of Psychic in Punisher. This card gets absolutely massive and it's just a really big boss monster to help you close out games. 1 copy of Baron de Fleur. We're actually summoning this card off of the Stardust Dragon, which is very easy to be able to put on your side of the field. If you gamma your opponent, it's very easy to put Stardust Dragon on the field and then be able to make this card on the field. We then play a single copy of Dragite. Dragite is a really spicy tech in this deck, and I really like this card because it's a spell trap negate, and it's very easy to put on the field in this deck because your copy of Captain Carry is a water, so you can actually give yourself a spell trap negate with this card. We then play a single copy of Jam Dragon Drive. This card is a great stepping stone in the deck, and while we actually play the Psychic Wielder and Tracker, because it has the ability, if this card is special summoned by the effect of a P.U.N.K monster or a P.U.N.K card, or Synchro Summon, then you can pay 600 life points and take a Psychic level 3 monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard, which is super good to be able to use in this deck to be able to instantly get to the card that you need. We then play a single copy of Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. This is how we summon out our copy of Baron de Fleur, and the main reason we're playing this card is for Gamma and Driver. We then play a single copy of Star Leon. Star Leon can get absolutely massive and help you OTK your opponent, which is why we play this card as a 1-of, because during the main phase, quick effect, you can target a face-up monster that your opponent controls, and this card gains attack equal to that target's original attack. Then, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can destroy that monster, which gives you an absolutely massive monster to help you close out games. And just like all of your other extra deck Gold Pride monsters, it does tag itself out if you activate that ability. And then play a single copy of Chariot Carry. Chariot Carry is really good as a 1-of, but you only need a single copy of this card. It's great because it has the ability to detach a material from this card, add a Gold Pride spell from your deck to your hand, and then if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can send a Gold Pride monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is a pretty good effect to be able to use on this card. We then play a single copy of Dingirsu. This card helps us make our copy of Zeus and also send cards from the field to the graveyard when it's summoned. 1 copy of number 38. This is a spell negate, very easy to be able to put on your side of the field. Essentially, you make this going first and this going second if you need to make Zeus. We then play a single copy of Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. AA Zeus is just a great board wipe on the field, and it's a really powerful card. We then play a single copy of Nitro Blaster. This card can come in handy, which is why I play this card as a 1-of in the deck. It does take a Gold Pride monster, 2 Gold Pride monsters with different levels, which is pretty easy to do in the deck now that we have Roller Baller, but it's good as a 1-of because it lets you target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Then if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can destroy all cards in the adjacent monster zones and spell and trap card zones, which is a really good effect to be able to just use this card as a pop. We then play a single copy of Lambda. This card makes it so that your copy of your Gamma is always live, which is why we're playing this card as a 1-of in the deck. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy. This deck is super fun to be able to play. It can make some absolutely incredible boards. It's really fun how well the Gold Pride cards and the P.U.N.K cards work together. It's just an amazing deck. I really enjoy playing this particular build, and it's really, really fun. So that's it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come part of our notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.